All right. Well, I'm not an expert here at StreamYard. I think it's be the second time I've ever used it, but here we are. Um, Bear with me as I kind of get settled in here. I don't do live streams very often at all. Um, Two or three in a year, maybe. I might do it a little bit different this year. Um, so let me get this all figured out here where everything is. Jump in, say hello if you want. And I'm going to try to get these windows figured out. Um, and I guess we'll learn a little bit about this at the same time. Yeah, I don't know exactly who is in right now and who is not. This is just an impromptu little live stream, just because I'm sitting in the house and I haven't done a live stream with you guys in a while, and I decided I wanted to right now. If you're out there and you're getting this, tell me if the audio's good. And let's see if everything else is all right. I got a light here that is supposed to stay on. It keeps turning itself off. So let me deal with that here real quick also. I don't know if it's going to stay. Don't know if it's going to stay going. Anyway, like I say, I'm not used to doing these StreamYard type layouts here, and I've trying to get everything figured out here on it. Yeah. Well, it is the beginning to a new year. I haven't seen any comments come through yet, so I'm not sure. There you go, Patrick Ward. I can see the comments in my regular YouTube window when I go over to it. Says that 10 are watching now. It was 15. And that only comment I see is Patrick Ward says, looks good, sounds good. But I'm going to switch back over, and there's a Chuck's post. Happy New Year's, James. Thank you. I might have to just do this out of my regular window because I can't get the chat because I never deal with this StreamYard thing. Here we go. I got it now. Got it. You know, I'm just not, I don't ever deal with it to know the whole layout on it, but I need to practice more. So here we got Patrick Ward and we got Chuck's Pass. And Patrick and his wife Leah have become very close, dear friends of ours. We really enjoy them a lot. They are a couple here in the Iloilo area, and a very pleasurable couple to hang out with and all too. Really enjoy them. So here at the place today, my God, out there at the beach, I'm not joking. That Bikubo at the beach has got to have 40, 50 people in it right now. And one of our subscribers, Michael, brought his wife and kids out. We hadn't seen him in a while. And her father, and they're over to the side, and one of the small Bikubos over to the side. And then some others came. And I bet you all together, there's probably 60, 70 people out here on our beach in the front right now. Where am I? Escaping here doing a live stream. Yeah, duck out from the madness. And I said, you know what? I haven't visited with you all in a while. And it's just something impromptu that I wanted to do. Get this new year started and say hello to everyone. I haven't been putting out a lot of new content lately because it's been the holidays. My crew's been off. I went through a few days of feeling under the weather. I'm still trying to recoup 100% from that. And so I didn't want to be out in the hot sun and all right now. So I just really been enjoying this vacation time and taking a break and not dealing with the work crew and not even working on any of my projects here. I've just been chilling, being a lazy bum and loving every minute of it. So let's see here. Craig here, long-time viewer, my type of lifestyle viewing. Keep it up, James and Mel. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Craig, tell us where you're from. And, oh, he already told us where the next guy did. I see here. Chuck's. Does it be like that? Chuck's post. I live in Oak Harbor, near where you went camping at Deception Pass. Ah, so he is up in Washington State. This Chuck's post is. And Craig, tell us where you're from if you get a chance. Yeah, that was so nice up there by Deception Pass. It's really beautiful all up there in that northern part of Washington State. I really enjoyed it a lot. And that camp trailer that we camped in with our friends David and his wife, Ludi, we ended up buying that travel trailer from them, that toy hauler, and it is sitting in my driveway back in Texas. It arrived about 3 or 4 days after we came back to the Philippines. My uncle and my friend Michael that's living on the property oversaw it being dropped off and winterized and everything. David's friend Canute that brought it down from Washington State for us, he deals with travel trailers, and so he winterized it and everything and got it all set up. And we just put it out in the middle of the open where there's no trees near it, nothing that can blow, fall, hit it, leaves build up on or anything, just out in the open. And we figured that would actually be better than it sitting underneath a roof there. And the reason I say that is because on that county road out there, the dust and the muck just build up on those things if it don't get rain and stuff poured down on it. So anyway, that's the story with that. And let's see, we got some person here that's got a name. Morning here in Texas. Well, thank you, A. And Craig says he's in Queensland, Australia, but built in Western Smart, just outside of, how you say that, Calbayog. So I may not, A for Alan. So I may not go down these perfect in this. I kind of want to cover a little bit of topics. So, and y'all can chime in on this and let's just have a little conversation. Yeah, Gas Monkey. Yeah, you know, I'm going to support my local Dallas stuff right there. Well, that joker's crazy. Him and I guess we're the same age, Richard Rollins and myself. One of the Gas Monkey Garage crew come pick up some old lawnmowers and stuff from me back when I was in Texas on this past trip. So anyway, a little topic. Let's have a little topic, not just sitting here reading line by line everybody's comments that comes in, but write them, and we'll hit them here and there randomly, but I'm not just going to spend the whole time running straight down them in a row, okay? So definitely want to hear from you. And let's see, like I said, I'm not used to the layout on here to see how many people's on here with us right now. I'll switch here to my other screen though, and it'll show me. So we got 23 watching right now. I'm okay with that. It's just a little impromptu that I just, no warning, shot it off my hip, and here we are. Just stopping by to say, look here, Jeremy, he's always such a good viewer to our channel too. George, I see you. You are too. Just stopping by to say Happy New Year, amigo. Keep on keeping on. Thank you so much, Jeremy. And I always appreciate you. You're a straight shooter. Your comments are straightforward. You know, you're no BS about you, man. I really notice you. You say your opinion and you're not insulting with it. If you disagree with me, you say what it is or what you think something should be. I like you. You're just straightforward and you're not insulting. I like that. You're really cool in that. And I really appreciate your input and your comments always. Thank you so much. Someone's asking a question here. I want to address it the best I can. So what a name, but is it tough to bring your dog with you? Mine's a black lab, 58 pounds. I love black labs. They're wonderful dogs. worried about housing and whether she'd fare well with the soy dogs. Um, Listen, I'm not a person to give advice on that. I'm just really not. I have no experience with it at all. I would not be your person to ask. I have not inquired on bringing a dog. We have a black lab mixed with a Callahoola back on our farm in Texas, and at his age, and a neighbor shot him and hit him in the bridge of the nose one time, shot him on my own property because he was afraid it was going to breed his dog. So he shot him in my field, shot my dog on my property. Pretty crazy. Didn't kill him, but it wounded him and it left like bad sinus infection stuff and all from there on. I'm so glad that guy moved away. What a jerk, man. It's just a jerk neighbor we had at one time. So anyway, I knew that it was going to be a battle to ever bring him here. He just has this constant snot coming out and all. And so I would have loved to have him here. He is our dear loved pet. And it was a hard choice. Mike has taken care of him back in Texas, and he's kind of like our dog together now. Mike loves dogs, and he had a big heart. And he has just been a guy sent to help us out with the situation of our dog. But I just don't know anything about bringing them. I looked into it a little bit before. I talked to a few people in the past, but I have no personal experience. So I wish I could help you out and wish you well with that. If anybody has anything to put in on that, share here, share here, and I'll share what you write. If any of you have experience on bringing a dog, I know that it can be hard to leave a loving pet behind, just like our dog Blackjack. Y'all seen him on video, many of you have. We really love him, and that was a hard choice for us having to leave him behind, but we knew that it would be next to impossible. And he's a horn dog. He is a horn dog. He's a roamer. He wants to get on anything there is around, and I knew that he would just be in fights over here and stuff, and he's not really for being secluded. He's a country dog. He's a roam-free country dog. So I said, it's just not going to be no good to bring him here. So it was some choices that you might have to make when you're looking at coming here. So we have some people greeting here. Let me see here. Maria says, Happy New Year to all from Toronto, vacation in Pavia. So you're right here near us right now. And Happy New Year's and belated Merry Christmas. And Leah, hello, Leah. How you doing? Happy New Year to you. So George, he's a longtime part of our channel, wherever his post just dropped to. Right there. George says that it is expensive to bring a dog to the Philippines. I bet it is. We know a couple, we won't say their names or nothing, that was in the Texas area, and they moved here and they went through a lot to bring their dogs here and to bring their whole life here, and they got rid of everything they had in Texas. And then after maybe only a year to 2 years, they returned back to Texas and had to reverse everything and try to get their dogs back to Texas and start their life completely over in a way there, because they sold everything they had. They shipped every tool and personal belonging here. Think long and hard before you make these decisions. Think long and hard about it. Let's see what else we got here. Living Our Lives said, we brought our 2 boxers from Texas here to Cavite province 2 years ago. Cost us over $10,000 total, but they have constantly got sick here from fleas and ticks. Yeah, things to consider. Things to consider. and he was thanking people there for their input there. All right, see what else we got going on here. So I want to read this one here real quick. We just spent over 100,000 pesos getting them treated for a blood parasite they got from a tick bite. All the stray cats and dogs transport them to different yards and even climb our walls. Man, that is just such good information. It's so true. You know, like back where I'm at in Texas, out in the country, people will have a dog and it was cute as a puppy, and now it's grown up and it's not so cute anymore. And the kids aren't playing with it anymore. It's just another big old dog now. And a lot of people will shed the responsibility, like the love at first sight is gone, and they'll take them out to a country road like I lived on. Thought I seen some back. Come on in, Cap. Is it locked? Yeah, just walk around, and they'll come out to a country road like I live on, and they will just dump a dog off. But a lot of times those dogs are still healthy a lot of times, and we can, as a community, take the dog in, find it a home, do a Facebook post, or we know local vets, or I know like this girl Amy that was a dear friend of mine that I've shown her one time on the vlog, ran into her at Bass Pro Shop. She would take them in, help us find a home and all for them. Cap, come over here and have a seat, man. Cap can be my co-host here on the vlog. I'm gonna ambush him in right here. Y'all bear with me. Now I got a co-host, man. I'm gonna feel like I'm some big shot news outlet. So look here. Now you got two ugly mugs to look at.
Yeah,
You can pick which ugly mug you want to squint your eyes from the most. So anyway, but those dogs, over the most part, are usually, you know, still pretty healthy. But here you got all these roaming, stray, feral cats and stray dogs that have never been any type of dream of vaccination. They got a lot, like you say, they're parasites and stuff. You know, rabies is still rampant in this country, where it's underneath a whole lot more control in the U.S. and probably other Western countries, but it's rampant here. And there's probably types of parasites maybe even here that may not be back home where you're at, or you may not be familiar with also. So you just got to be very careful, and it's according to where you live and what kind of lifestyle you're living here. You know, if you're in some condo and you got a small dog and it's not exposed out like it would be here to us, where there's just stray dogs and cats roaming and all right here, you might have better luck in that very confined environment like that. So you see old Cappers is here. Y'all wish him a happy New Year's.
Happy New Year.
It says, let's go on right here. Happy New Year. Maybe this year we can go there. Well, hopefully you can. The name, pooping while standing. All righty then. Skin issues is another issue. Yeah, some people will call them hot spots. Cap knows a little bit about this stuff. Yeah, like on those dogs. Some of it's actually mange. That's right.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's what they'll call a hot spot, or either other types of parasites, and it just leaves these bald spots on them everywhere. Mm-hmm. There is a lot to deal with when you bring an animal to the tropics. Even us to the tropics. There are so many more diseases and stuff that thrive in this warm, humid tropical environments that doesn't make it so well, or only seasonal in some other environments. So even for yourself, you've also got to think about that. So let's see what else we got going on here.
Yeah, as far as myself coming over here, I have never really been one to catch colds a lot or have issues like that. But coming over here, my body, I guess, just wasn't acclimated to, my immune system wasn't acclimated to this side of the world.
Yeah.
and it seems like I came down with everything there was, man.
Like we always say when somebody first arrives, oh, they're going to get the Philippine cough.
Yeah.
Because if they scheduled a trip here for 2 weeks, they probably have burnt their trip up. They got here, and after a few days they got sick, and they spent the rest of their time trying to get over the Philippine cough.
Right,
you know?
right.
Yeah.
That time I came over for 2 months here, in 2021, the end of 2021, I spent a month home, staying at home sick.
That's right. So I'm going to hit a topic here that actually I recorded something about this last night, and I was going to put it in a video I was editing, but I want to just bring this up right now. So Dr. Emmett Brown said, I saw and captured on video one of those orb UFOs zipping around. This was up in Gapan City, about the same day as the mega sightings in Iloilo. I just captured one video at 3:05 a.m. All right, I'm going to address this with you guys, okay? Because I have been out sick and over here on the couch, and I've been up all different hours of the night, and my YouTube has been recommending different videos and channels that I've never heard of in my life to me, and just out of what I'll call shits and giggles, I would watch these videos, and lo and behold, my name would come up on them. I'm like, what the hell? And some very nice comments, but also some ridicule about James's UFO sightings. So let's get one thing straight right off the bat. You go back to my video and you listen to it. I never said I saw a UFO. My goodness, man. It's like how people like to just build something into it. I said I saw lights that I don't know what they are, but I'll never forget what I saw. My wife's standing over here right now. Miss Melinda is. She's come in. She's buzzing through because she's got guests. She went outside. She's seen it. We had 2 different viewers here. That one of them is a man from Finland. He's a documentary filmmaker as well, and well known in Europe for him. And then we had another guest here that's from Rhode Island, and they seen him. And it happened to be when Cap and I was talking, he had over at his house on the other side of town, had went out to smoke or something, and you saw him as well. Yeah. So it's not James has done gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, because that train left the station years ago. I've been cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs a long damn time, but I'm not here trying to act like that I just got anal probed or anything like that, and I didn't see no glowing finger saying, E.T. go home or E.T. went home or anything like that.
Yeah, I thought it was just some sort of satellites that were new satellites for communication. Or
yeah,
like
and
that.
You probably had a more limited perspective from your yard than what I do out here on this open beach in this high house.
Right.
They were from horizon to horizon, what we see here, and moving very fast. Now, Cap has been in my life for since 2001, 2001. So he knows if I'm saying something that's bullshit or not bullshit. But back in the States, I was in the satellite business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have a degree in telecommunications, terrestrial and extraterrestrial. And that was something I sought after because the type of business I was in. I wasn't a cowpoke. Yeah, I was mostly in the automotive industry and in the electronics industry. So with that being said, I dealt with keeping up a lot with satellite launches and satellite technology. I had to deal a lot with satellites and the different arrays and different types of bands and technologies. And actually, I beta tested new technologies as they came out there at my place, my home in Texas. And at one point in time back in Texas, prior to Cap knowing me, my yard looked like it was a mini NASA, because I had every kind of dish you could think of, because I'm testing out equipment. And in fact, I tested and beta tested the very first internet satellites that went on the market before they went on the market. First two-way that didn't require a landline connected, and that was mostly because of the government didn't want a two-way feed going directly from someone's for security reasons, espionage reasons, many different reasons, control. I don't know if we're kind of blinking out here. Y'all tell me. But I know satellites, and then Starlink. I probably brought the very first Starlink to the Philippines before it was ever offered in the Philippines. I know how their arrays are set up. I keep up with Captain knows too. I'm a space nut. When I keep up, I keep up with everything going on. Those Gen 1 satellites they put up had a lot of reflectivity. Most of those Gen 1s that first went up that was making so much reflection off of them have already since been expired and burned back up into the atmosphere, and they have been phased out and replaced with an update on them to where they didn't have so much reflectivity, because they were getting a lot of feedback, especially in the astronomy community and science and all, because it was causing a lot of disruption. I also know how they move. So I thought it was kind of funny when someone's going to tell me that it was just, Starlink passing over and that they pass over at a certain time. Well, that's kind of funny, because if they only came over at a certain time, you would only have internet at a certain time. Mm-hmm. So you're going to wait until they come all the way back around the earth again before you got internet again? But these were at different levels from every direction. And it was just a light. I saw nothing flashing on it, just a orb of light. And I couldn't tell you how big. I can't give you dimensions. I can't say it was the size of a car or as big as the sun, because it's just a light. And the only thing I can tell you is that some of them look really high to be outside of the atmosphere or in the edge of the atmosphere, and some of them were down low enough that I saw clouds pass over the top of them. It was a moonlight night. So they were at all different levels. And we saw more aircraft here in the air. We only have one airport around here. And there was some reason a lot of additional aircraft, and then Melinda noticed that and pointed out to me, flying random where they're really in a set pattern here. I mean, we know the pattern. We live here.
Right.
We know the pattern.
That there's not a bunch of air traffic here.
No, I mean,
one or two flights a day you'll see. There's more than that, but coming over our area,
well, they're timed, but I know that there's more than that. But I know the pattern to them right here, and I know the approach. Now they did add a few additional flights in, but these weren't approaching the land. It was a very odd situation. But never did I say that I saw a UFO. ET did not phone home with me, and I did not record it because I wasn't expecting to be recording nothing. I had not been shooting any vlog material at that point in time. I don't like to carry a phone around with me. I don't like to listen to a phone. I keep everything on silent, don't I? Mm-hmm. I can't stand it. I was in that industry so long with a phone glued to me, and then with this vlog, when I was shooting video, a camera always up my butt, that when I put them down, I put them away. So it was actually dead and in the room. So even if I went and got my cell phone, which is probably the best thing I have recording at the sky, it was dead. And this camera here that I'm using right now, this Action 4, I do not get good up at the sky video with it. And I really don't shoot much nighttime video. Very rare on my vlog y'all ever see me shoot any nighttime video. But I didn't even know where it was at. I think it might have been in my motorcycle bag and wherever I left it laying at the time. So, I know somebody said you record everything. Well, I don't. I'm very segmented in my life, and I know when to put a camera down and enjoy your life, not just shoving a camera in everybody's face 24/7. I still have a life and privacy. So no, I don't record everything there is. And it was in the middle of morning hours. So I don't know, but in America, people think everything's only happening in America. But as I said in that video that night, this is going on all over the world. And someone did send me a link that there was actually a news video of them capturing it, and reporting on it on the news here in Iloilo. There was on the news of them in Manila and spotted, and it was these lights, this glow of light, not a flashing light like a drone. Now let's talk about that. The New Jersey drones. I kind of laugh at that New Jersey drone stuff a little bit because, of course, those that they're spotting, they see a drone. They see it's a drone. They have the government approved lighting on them. So a UFO said, look, we want to be legal when we go there. Let's be legal. Let's camouflage and look normal. They could, but I'm not trying to go down that road. In New Jersey, there is a drone company there that's not building little handheld drones. They're building air taxis. And they actually currently have a contract with United Airlines. United's going to use these things like picking somebody up at, say, like where I live at in Dallas. I'm in a small town outside Dallas, like Terrell, Texas, and we have an airport there. But it's only a little small airport. But say like they could use this air taxi to pick me up. United could pick me up there, of course, a paid service, and fly me right into DFW. And then from there, get right on over onto their flight. And that would be a additional service that they're going to offer. So United is actually got a standing order with them on those drones. They're on their second version right now. But they are basically a flying car, flying air bike, or whatever you want to call them. And the U.S. military also did a contract with them, and they're building them for the U.S. military. Well, they're right there in New Jersey. Come on. Now, here's the next thing that I'm just shaking my head. People just get so carried away. What have we been listening to on TV and news reports for the past 10 years? That Amazon and Walmart and all these fast food services and all in the United States and in other countries, we're going to be using drones to deliver packages and food and drop it. And in fact, they had already ran pilot programs like that. So all this nonsense to might shoot them out of the air and they're from Iranian mothership. Man, what the heck, people? Get over yourselves. Like, why do you think that only in New Jersey and America is the most important place in the world, that China and Iran is going to have a mothership flying up drones? And the reason the government wasn't doing nothing because there was nothing to be done. They could be testing them, and if it was from that drone company, they might have an agreement for privacy on what they're doing with the U.S. military. But of course, they got to take them up and fly them. Now, I could be proved wrong, but let's just look at common sense right there. And what are y'all going to think when you do order Pizza Hut pizza and they fly it down to your yard? Are you going to go ahead and shotgun it out of the sky? You think you're going to get the pizza free that way? So, I mean, we're in that day and time. There's going to be a lot of drones. But my concern is that this hype that has went on of everybody fear-mongering over all of this nonsense, that especially if they got red and green and clear lights going on them, that means that they are apparently something trying to meet a government regulation. That it's going to end up taking away us drone operators. I'm not going to say pilot because I don't like the way they use that word pilot. They use it so loose. But us drone operators, it's going to take away our freedom. People are going to fearmonger, and they're going to start passing bills and laws and ordinances to take away our freedom. And that it'll turn out that this time that we had to be able to fly a drone privately would have just been a small gap in time, and then it was taken from us. And maybe that's what they want. maybe that's why they're playing this game, is that it causes you to take your own right away. And people are ridiculous, man. So that's all I got to say on that. I don't know what I saw. I mean, I can't give it a label. I'm not going to give it a label. I'm not saying that that something came from another galaxy or from another dimension or anything. I'm not going to say nothing. I just seen some crazy ass stuff in the sky that I've never seen in my life. And it wasn't a meteor shower. It had no tail to it. It didn't have a streaming light behind it. It wasn't a burn up going on through the atmosphere. I'm wise to all of those things, man. I'm not new to none of that. So it was bizarre, and it's not just me dealing with this bizarreness right now. It's going on all over the world, and I think the government likes the confusion, though. I really do. So that's the end of that story. Hello, James, from Big Fan in Cincinnati, Ohio. Well, thank you very much, Douglas Jordan. I appreciate you very much. Happy New Year to you. See right here, living our lives. Hey, James, this little wet market area where we are have entire gangs of diseased-looking dogs. A true negative of living in Province area. Yeah, we're dealing with that ourselves. We've addressed with the barangay captain, people we've seen bringing more of those dogs in, strays and stuff, and then when they try to bite somebody or they exterminate some people's private livestock, well, then they claim they're not theirs, but it's been theirs every day, and you're watching them feed them and take care of them. But then they claim that they're not theirs when they do something bad. So we've been having a bad situation with that over in one area here near us, and Melinda's been going and addressing it with the local government officials. And it's so sad, you know. It's just a sad situation. You feel sorry for the animals, but you also have to think of your safety and about rabies. And here in this country, sometimes it's mandatory that they give you a series of rabies shots. And that can be some serious stuff to deal with. So it's a sad situation, but it's a real situation. You can't just kick under the rug. Just got back from the Philippines, spent all of December. I really wanted to come see you, but I was extremely busy fixing up mom's house and family issue stress. Yeah, well, man, it's sad that you had family issue stress, but I hope you enjoyed your time fixing up on the mom's house. That's always a good thing. Maybe we'll get to see you next time. She was raised to be a service dog, has excellent personality, but I've got confidence she'll be well taken care of. Well, that is good. Hopefully everything will work out. My friend Patrick saying hello, Cap. It's funny here. Hey, James, I know you're a coffee connoisseur. I was just wondering if you could tell us a little bit about Filipino coffee. I'm interested in whole bean coffee. Hey, Mel, what's that?
Delicious.
Yes. So their native coffee here, Cap just said it right there. Mm-hmm. It's delicious. Especially that, what's that called? Barako, Mel? Yeah, Barako Batangas. That coffee raised in Batangas and Luzon, man, the way they roast that and the flavor of that, it has got to be some of the best coffee I've ever drank in my life.
And that little place that we stop at up by the strawberry farm when we go on that ride around, yeah, they've got delicious coffee too. I don't know what kind that is.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, we run into it. So there's a place, that little shop, was that Mia Gal that we went into that? What's that place called? M16 Mile?
Yeah.
Man, he's got it there too. Any of these places I can find that have that native coffee.
Yeah.
Man, that's what we need to find be serving right here.
Yeah. That stuff is delicious.
Man.
Anytime I find a place that has that and they have the roasted beans, I'll buy some.
So yeah, you can buy whole beans or you can buy it already ground. I just tell you, man, whatever they're doing.
You told me that you know, every contact the person that's eating the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's coffee bean. Cheap one.
The Baracco?
Yes.
Oh man, that's so good. So
yeah, it's gotten hard to find unless you go to one of those specialty shops.
Yeah, because I think it got so popular, man, and during the COVID, the whole coffee thing just took off here in this country. So before, you'd only have to go to you would have to go to a specialty place to get brewed coffee, and it was kind of far and few between around. And then all of a sudden, it was literally on every single corner of mom and pop selling brewed coffee. Mm-hmm. And then now there's these coffee shops that are listed like 48 coffee and this coffee. And you go to them and it's called coffee, but they have no coffee. They have all these flavored drinks and milk teas, and they're called a coffee place. But when you go up there to buy coffee from, sorry, sir, we don't sell coffee. And their name says coffee. Craziness. Welcome to the Philippines. So what breed is she? Smaller dogs are easy to manage. I think it would be the same problem with bringing Angus cattle in. I don't think they would handle the parasite load. It's probably better just to feed corn to the breeds they have here. So I can address that topic. They do have Black Angus cattle here. There's a lot that people just don't know. They have been bringing in different breeds of cattle for a long while. So there is some wealthy Filipinos that have big herds of cattle of different breeds that are from the Western nations, like Beefmaster and Black Angus. They actually have groups and associations here in the Philippines. And then to make them more hardy to this environment, they did the exact same thing that we did back in Texas. So it gets very hot in Texas. And so when you run a black cow in a very hot climate, it can be hard on them. So what we did is what they call F1 cross. Now, some of you are going to know what a F1 cross is, but we bred in Brahma into those Black Angus. And then there's also a brand out there called Limousine, which is a longer torso and all, and they're a little bit more hardy against the hot environment also. They look very similar to a Black Angus. But what we did is we introduced Brahma blood into those. And so we had herds that were Black Angus only. We had a herd that was Limousine only, and we had our herd that was mixed with Brahma and with Black Angus. And we found the ones that we had a little bit of that Brahma in seemed to do way better and were way more hardy against the heat and against flies and parasites and all. And one of our bulls, I've got the head down here in the cantina right now. Those were Gur Brahma. They had the roll back horns, not roll up, but the skull rolls back and the horns down. And they were some pretty dang big bulls too, not this little small Brahma like here. And so when I was doing a little research before, that's exactly what they were doing here. They were mixing large Brahma. I think they got those Brahma The government helped bring them in from South America, and they were mixing them with the pure cattle and getting that cross, and they had herds free roaming. Another thing you may not realize is down in Mindanao, Australia brings cattle in, like whole shiploads of them, and bring them in to pasture at certain times down in Mindanao. Now, I know they used to. I don't know if they're still doing it, but they used to. And so they would do leases for grazing, bring those cattle in, and then there would be time they would ship them back out. Or I even heard they just did like, slaughter, or where they would just take them offshore and slaughter them and then market the meat out. They don't have to get them all the way back to land. But they were using Philippines as grassland also. There's a lot more goes on here than you might realize. There's some huge cattle ranches up in Luzon. Just a lot of people don't realize all that goes on, and they'll have feedlots, and they are raising silage crops and harvesting that silage and bringing it around and feeding it immediately right there to those cattle. And they got another crop replacing that crop, and this is going on constantly. There's a lot more goes on here than you realize. In fact, there's YouTube videos out there with it. Check it out. And I joined a group here on raising what they call black cattle breeds in the Philippines. So that's what I can tell you about that. But I think my days are done dealing with all of that. And lots of mange here. Yep. Hey, and I'll tell you something else it is. Sometimes you see these dogs and they got bald spots, and that's not mange or parasite. They will boil hot water, and they will throw boiling hot water on a dog to run it away. And or maybe the dogs are stuck from breeding and they can't really run nowhere, and they will boil up a hot boiling pot of water and throw it on them. Water like that. I witnessed it with my own eyes. It is horrible. And Melinda's mom's got this wonderful little dog, Tiger, and he's all burned on his back from the same thing, from their next door neighbor that's their friend one moment, and the next moment throwing hot boiling scalding water on their dog. And the abuse here is just
common practice.
Yeah, they just don't even think nothing about it, and they'll get into a skirmish for a day or two over it, and then they're drinking beer together on the third day, So sometimes you'll see a dog and see them like that, and you'll think they got mange. What they got's abused. Yeah. See what else we got going here. Make sure you keep up with all shots, vaccinated and deworming. Yeah, Patrick and Leah have numerous beautiful little dogs. We got inspected, or we got sprayed for insects. Yeah, I'm just going to tell you the truth on that. I'm not going to candy coat it. I'm just kind of reading some comments here. I've said all I'm going to say about looking up at the sky. I know it wasn't airplanes. I know it wasn't A-10 Warthog. There was too many. And I just not even go back down the topic. Don't know what it was, but it's none of the little simple things that people try to dismiss. And my cookie hasn't fell off the plate. It's just weird, The Jetsons realized, yeah, the Jetsons realized. Let's see, we are at that day and time. I'll pull that up so people know what I'm talking about. There is a whole bunch of drone companies building that you can buy and fly now all over the world. German companies, Japanese companies, U.S. companies, all over the world, because it's that day and time. You know, it doesn't have to be just a little tiny thing you fly around with a remote control. You can build a big one and sit your ass down in it and fly. And a lot of them are considered ultralight aircraft. So a lot of them do not require a pilot's license or training. Some of the manufacturers will require you, if you purchase from them, to go through a certification course with them. Probably their insurance company is demanding that before they will release the unit to you. So the deal's not done until you can't buy it and take it unless you can guarantee that you can, you know, finish this course, and then they'll turn it over to you. And then, of course, you got your people that are not very scrupulous, and they'll just sell it to you, and you're on your way. And yeah, that's scary. That's scary for yourself and for the people below you. So we're at that day and time, man. Drones is not a big deal anymore, people. Drones are not a big deal anymore. You're going to get your pizza with it, and you're going to get your Amazon with it. In some places, they already do. So I don't know what the panic is there. Yeah, the amazing things they can do right here, man. The amazing things they can do. Did you see the Chinese drones, which show the New Year's celebration, which formed the dragon? It's reported to be 10,000 drones. Visually amazing. Now imagine the tech behind the presentation. So another place that's very famous for doing those big drone shows also is, believe it or not, right back in Dallas, Texas, and other states too. But Dallas, you can go find them on YouTube. They've got one after another on there where they do those big displays there over DFW. It's beautiful. Been doing it for several years with those drones, not just this year or last year. Let's see what else we got going on here. I'm probably a little behind. Yeah, so Emmett was saying these are silent and that the speed is incredible. Yeah, this wasn't something slow in the sky. This was something pretty darn fast. So somebody said, your sighting coincided with military exercises, or did the military exercises coincide with the sightings?
That's the real question.
Yeah. And that's the rest of the story. Yeah, hello, James and Cap. Good seeing you guys live today. Well, it's a surprise though Cap showed up, you know. We have a subscriber here, Michael, and his family down here at the beach right now. But he showed up. I was already planning on doing this live stream. He probably thinks I ducked out from him, but I said, no, man, I want to follow through with this. So I came on up here because I wanted to spend some time with you all. Let's see right here. Good day, James. Have been watching your vlog for a very long time. Enjoyed them, and you have educated me on building. Can I steal your crew to finish my house in Samar? No, you can't steal them. You can't steal them, and they wouldn't even go there. These boys are on mama's still. They don't want to get very many feet from home. They cry if they have to take a job up here at the city and commute. They want to be at home. And Mont, he's got a new baby, and it's his first child, and just recently married. And Mock's in his mid-30s, and he is proud to be a daddy. And he wants to be right there with his daughter. He ain't going to travel nowhere to go do no work. There is, however, a guy that watches the channel that's within maybe 3/4 of a mile from us right over here that's planning to build. And I may have them to go over and do some teaching for his crew, but not actually do the work unless they just want to. They don't belong to me, but they are willing to go over and give some good tips, and he might be willing to pay them to do that. But I'll tell him we'd arrange something. James, you're right. China have put up for us, and Musk have put up the same in different heights, going crisscross in the universe. So, did I catch up on the comments? Maybe I did. Maybe I lost everybody when we went UFO. Maybe that was it. Yeah. So, anyway, anybody got anything else to talk about then? Because I don't want to talk UFO stuff anymore. Never said I saw a UFO. I guess you could classify as that because unidentified.
Don't know what it was.
I'll call it what? Unidentified glowing object, shining object. I don't know. No, I don't know. That's why I said I'll just never forget what I saw. It was, and I go outside each night since then, and I ain't seen nothing like it. So why would it just be that?
No, I haven't either. I step outside to see.
Yeah.
If I see anything. In fact, I went last night.
Me too. I couldn't sleep, and I was outside till late. So let's see here. What else has been going on? Switching over here to another screen real quick. I'll come back. So on building around here, well, my crew has been gone before Christmas. We cut out several days before Christmas, and even then we'd already slowed way down. For the whole month of December, we just barely did anything, and none of us really gave a darn. Me and Mel didn't give a darn. The group didn't. It's just, we kind of know when that month of December comes, all the way up till about mid-January, they don't want to do much of nothing. There's another celebration that's going to kick off here soon too, after New Year's here in the Philippines, and then we got a big event up here in Iloilo City and all that'll be coming off its annual event. So it's this time of year, it is slow go on getting anything done. And at first they told me they were going to come back on the 2nd, but that's the day, and they didn't, and I didn't even care. And then I said, well, I wonder when they are coming back. And Gila told me that she talked to Mop and said they're going to come back on Monday. That's like funny. I find out through July when they're returning, because I didn't even know. But I just don't even care. We're not no hardcore about it. I know some of my viewers like, I wouldn't tolerate that. I'd fire them. Well, you ain't going to get nothing done then.
Yeah.
Because it ain't just like you're going to get anybody off the street to replace what I got them doing that knows what they're doing my way. And we're not uptight over it anyway. So I'm not on a punch clock. I'm not on a deadline on a contract, and it's nearly all family. So it is what it is. I'm here to relax. Yeah, here to relax. So when I found out they weren't coming back to Monday, was actually a relief to me. I'm like, whoo, I'm glad to hear that, because I didn't want to do nothing yet. I didn't want to deal with people yet.
I was curious whether they had come back or not. And I knew that if they hadn't, that you were going to be relaxing.
Yeah, man, I have just been a bum, hadn't I?
Yeah.
I didn't even want to do my own personal projects. I've just bum, straight up bum.
It's nice and quiet around here.
Yeah, can you, as many people as I got out there on the beach right now, and it's so peaceful. Yeah. So, seeing some of these other comments coming in right here. Trying to get it pulled up there. It said, how's the boats coming along? Well, so I was saying, I hadn't even touched the boats. Cap and I, a few days ago, man, what's that already been? 4 or 5 days ago that we messed with the.
4 days ago, anyway.
Yeah, something like that. I bet it's been longer than that. No, it has to be.
Was it Monday? Was it Monday or Sunday?
No, because I've been sick, so I went down there then with it. So 4 or 5 days ago, we worked just for a little bit, one day out there doing a little finishing work on that Banca boat, and and then I hadn't touched anything since then. It's just once I moved it from where it was sitting at here so we could bring that horse through, it kind of disrupted my whole operation. And it's going to be too much work to bring it back in. So I'll just have to finish it out there where it's at. And then I got to deal with weather and whether it's raining and trying to keep the wood dry and putting tarps on it. But I said the day I was going to go down there and do it, I didn't. And I just enjoying being a bum. And so I'll have to get the wheels turning again soon. I'll say when the guys come back Monday, I'll go back to work on it on Monday too. The Sea Ray, I can just back it out in the water anytime. I've got projects going on it, but it's nothing to do with it being able to run or anything like that. But I'll be glad when I do have that banca on the water. There's an event that'll be coming off here, a couple different events that we're going to have some local events here at our barangay and the neighboring barangays that I would like to have it for, just to have fun and entertainment with the locals and all. And then there's the regatta that'll be coming off up at Villa, and the regatta is something I would really like to have it up there for that too, and to display it and stuff and just have fun also. So we'll see how all that goes. We'll see how it goes. But it's really not that far away, because once I finish this next coat of glass, it's really just a matter of gel coating it, and then I'm going to paint this big skeleton fish on it. I've got everything prepped for that. So I'm really looking forward to that. Let's see. So Mark here is saying, when is your next time to head back to Texas? Well, I really don't tell to the public what my schedule is. And that's one of the reasons we always kept our videos delayed and stuff too. I noticed you can just show up here and book a room and, you know, we're going to be here or not be here. But in my videos, just to the out there, I kind of like a little bit of mystery there for privacy and security, both here and back in Texas. So just really, I appreciate it, Mark, but I'm just really not going to tell that online here. What else has there been going on? I joined in on Philippine Annex this morning, and actually I kind of enjoyed it. Now, Philippine Annex, you can like them or hate them. Just stay neutral on it. You know, even the King's Court had gestures, right? Mm-hmm. And remember, their channel is called Antics. Remember that. Yeah, they are antics. They can be a little shrewd on things. I think that I did voice my opinion about them talking so much on Mark Thornton when he passed. They said, you know, he had his life public YouTube, so it was that free pass. That is kind of true when you put your life, like me and Mel, Mark Thornton, all of us, out to the public. You are putting yourself out there for everything. I said my opinion, they took it, and that was that. Now, that was back the other day, but I was back on there with them today because I liked the topic that they had, and they were talking about this guy that was on Rafi Tufo, about losing several 100,000 pesos to a girl online. And I guess maybe he's on there thinking that they're going to help him recover that money back. And that kind of topic that they had there today with that, I found it to be more helpful, because listen, guys, you need to pull your heads out of your butts sometimes. This guy sent this girl within 30 days several 100,000 pesos. She sent it to a guy's name, or he sent it to a guy's name. They had the records there, and he's like, it's her brother, you know, like she couldn't get it, her brother could or whatever. It's her brother. No, you got scammed, and that was probably, He never video chatted with the girl, nothing. And the pictures that she sent were actually like different girls. You just get so blinded. So blinded. Oh my God. So blinded. So I told them I like the content they had today because people need to see that video. I really don't care for bashing someone that's left this world, but on guys being blind idiots, I'm all for it, man. Let's talk about it. Let's wake them up. Part of the reason I had a YouTube channel in the beginning is there was this guy. He made one trip to the Philippines, met a girl, and he created a channel, and he's going to tell everybody all things Philippines and how to do everything and get advice and visas. And he was mixture, I know everything Philippines. And man, people were following him, man, and they're just lapping up every word he said, and it was all wrong and not true. And I said, man, I'm going to step in here because I have been around for a long while. I have seen so much, I knew so much. But after a while, I realized you can't get anyone to listen. You cannot get anybody to listen, no matter how much you tell them. And they'll watch going, boy, I'm going to be wiser than that guy. And then they go do the same darn stuff. So you saw I quit giving advice. I quit giving advice because nobody wants to listen anyway. Mm-hmm. You won't listen. You won't listen. We had this guy, two guys, show up at our farm uninvited in Texas. Mel and I were doing some work outside, and we seen this truck. We were putting in a power pole for a house. And we saw this truck coming up, and these two guys, and they were staring, and they were smiling, and they pulled in our driveway. And they had done travel from a long ways and stayed in a hotel up in Terrell and all, hunting us down. Now, I would call it more like stalking us because our place in Texas is private. And we have renters there, and they deserve their privacy as well. And these guys came without making any contact. They could have wrote us in or through an email. It's always published. But did they do any of that? No, they ambushed us at our home in our private time, unannounced. And they had a list of questions they needed to ask me. It was this older man and a guy that looked like could have been his son, but it wasn't his son. And I let them know I was a little uncomfortable. I said, but look, I tell you what, I'll meet you up in town at a restaurant and sit down and eat with you, and we can talk. That way I wanted to be in public, not at my private place out in the country. It really made us feel a little creeped out and uncomfortable. And the gall of people just to do that, just to show up at our home there in Texas and all. This place here is open to the public, but Philippines and Texas is two different things in my book. I never had my home as a public place. So anyway, we meet up at this restaurant, a little taco place I really like. And the guys seemed harmless enough. And they had a list of questions for me. They might be watching right now. I don't know. I can't tell you their names. I don't remember their names. But the older guy was telling me how that he is getting married here in the Philippines and that he bought a farm and all this. And I asked him where the girl's from, and he couldn't remember, and he's trying to research, and he tells me a name, and I said, well, where's that located at? He didn't know where it's located. So I asked him, you ever been to the Philippines? No. That's why he was meeting with us and questions. Well, you said you bought a farm. Yeah, he sent this girl that he met online all this money to buy a farm. But he don't know where it's at. He don't know anything. He sent this retirement money, and his mother passed away, and he inherited his mother's place. And he sent all that money to a stranger in the Philippines. Yeah, that he bought a farm. And then this guy with him was the same story. It's just two totally gullibles that have just already had their asses handed to them and they don't even realize it yet. I mean, don't even realize it yet. And they're trying to ask me all these things about the Philippines. Well, before you go sending money in mass amounts to somebody on the internet to the Philippines, how about come here and spend some time? How about come here and don't chase tail? Just come here and just live as a single person, if that's what you are, without that motive, and just learn the culture, learn the people, learn the ways, learn the do's and don'ts, and learn what's real and what's not real before you give away your life retirement and even your inheritance that your family before you and before that maybe worked hard in years and decades for, that went to some scammer on the internet. And the same thing as I would ask questions, about a video chatting, Melinda's asking questions and all. There was just a lot of chat and no like real long, like video calls or anything like that. Just blindly sending money, thinking, man, I got this girl that loves me. She loves me. We're going to live in tropical paradise forever. Man, I hadn't heard anything ever from them. We were very cordial and nice from them, but I guarantee you, they got their asses handed to them, man. Just crazy. He bought a farm. I done sent her all the money, everything. Don't know where it is, don't know where he's going. And he says, she's not been responding to me lately. Yeah, because she's done, or he's done, or it's done, dried the cow out of milk already. The titty's done dry. You are used up. Yeah, no sense in trying to beat a dead horse.
Yeah, it's not funny, but it just happens. We see that happening every day.
Yeah,
every day.
There's so many stories I could tell, but I won't tell stories from people that come here. I won't do it because I don't want you shy to come here and talk to me. But I've been here long enough, and before this vlog and everything, I know so many stories. I just know so many stories. It's just unbelievable. And how gullible people are. And this guy was, he fought with his family on that inheritance. He was telling me all this. And when they shamed him about giving that money to, a girl in Asia, well, apparently part of that inheritance or something was supposed to go to like a niece or something like that. He told me, I cut her out. She don't get nothing. So you didn't let your family get anything, but you gave a stranger that typed some words to you over a computer everything. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And it just shocks me. Shocks me. Let's see what this right here says. Maria says, James, there's a lot of construction cameras in the Philippines. How do you screen your crew? There's no reviews online like back home. We had a local handyman wash our water tank. He clogged all, I think it cut it short. So I guess just because I was around building, so I didn't really hire a construction company. I don't have a foreman. I don't have a contractor or anything. I'm it. And I train my own crew. Now, I try to hire experienced masoons is what they call them here. I think that's played off the word mason, and they call them masoon. Like while we say gallon, like a gallon of milk, they call that galoon. They have a different way. And so masoon, mason, and which basically just means, like a all around well-trained carpenter, and to them. And I found the guys that had been around the block for a while that you would think had a lot of experience. For the way I wanted to build different than their way, their methods, was next to impossible because you know that saying you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Ain't that right, Paul? And so they just butted heads with me, mocked me, tried to undermine with my workers and my other workers and all the whole way. It was nothing but friction. So I cut the older guys loose, and Joel went with them. He was in the original batch when we were building the garage. Joel went with them, but he come back and said, man, I like what you're doing. And he took ridicule from these other Masoons in the area that were his friends and all for coming back here to me. But Joel's had the last laugh, and they were the fools. And everybody else was just young, inexperienced guys that had minimum experience doing construction and concrete work. You know, they just basic helpers. And they're Melinda's family, even Joel's Melinda's family. So I just taught these young guys in the family to do what I wanted them to do. And that was way easier than trying to teach an old dog new tricks. They didn't want new tricks. So one of them, when we were building, the one that was causing the biggest disruption in the beginning, I thought he just didn't understand what we were trying to do. And finally he told me, he said, oh, I know this work. I worked in Saudi Arabia and we cast form concrete like this. This is how they want it done in Saudi Arabia. He told her, I built many like this, but this is the Philippines. This is the Philippines. This is how he talks. Cap knows what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But this is the Philippines. And here in the Philippines, we do it like this. So like it could only be done shitty in the Philippines. You know, don't do it that good way you were doing in Saudi, that you were so proud of your work in Saudi. But we're in the Philippines. And when you're in the Philippines, I guess you do it like this. So, exactly. Well, goodbye, bye-bye. And once we eliminated them, it was smooth sailing from there on. But listen, I can't tell you how to find anybody. Like people try to get me referred to someone. I can't refer you anyone because if that person screws you over, I don't want to feel responsible. Mm-hmm. And they're unpredictable, you know?
Exactly.
So
like you said, this is the Philippines. They've been taught to do it a certain way. And if you don't want it done that way, you're going to have a hard time finding somebody that will do it like you want it. And James knows me. I'm so meticulous that I won't even hire anybody. I'll just struggle through and do it myself, you know. Of course, I'm not building a house, but any kind of repairs that I've got to do around the house that I can see why it's broken is because of the way it was put together. And when I don't want it to go back together that way, I want it to go back together the right way, you know. And so it's just difficult to find somebody that, and if you need something done and you ask, how can I need this done? And you ask somebody, do you know somebody that can do that? Well, what they're going to do is they're going to go talk to their brother. Hey, you know how to do that? And then send their brother over there, and it's not going to be done right. Mm-hmm. So they have no idea what they're doing. They're just going to wing it. And so that's a good question.
It's tough. You're just it's just such a chance. So I'm going to try to guess what you were saying here. We had a local handyman wash our water tank, and he clogged all. I'm thinking maybe you're going to say all your faucets or valves or something like that, pipes. Especially if he broke loose all that algae and sediment in that tank. And if you didn't have a bypass somewhere to flush that out, like if sometimes here they'll disconnect the main line. Sometimes they'll take the whole tank and dump it. But if they just did it right on the spot, if you don't have a bypass there to spit that dirty water out and they let it go down that line, if they don't go down to your sinks and remove the screens, but even that stuff can go into that little plastic valve in there and clog it down in there before it ever even gets to the screen at the end of the faucet. So the number one thing is that you need to have a bypass out there to flush that tank for cleaning purposes, and it needs to be on the lowest part of your tank. And I don't know what brand tank you have, but it's better that your water pickup in there on the inside of the tank is not all the way to the bottom. So let's talk about this. So let's just say you got one of those big round plastic tanks they sell here in the Philippines, and you got it up high in the air somewhere, right? So first off, if a strong storm comes through and that water tank ends up empty, it's going to blow it away, or it's going to try to. You might have it strapped a little bit somehow, but you got this big thing trying to resist all this wind. Can break a pipe, stress it, anything like that. So it's better if it always keeps a certain amount of water in the bottom of it, and that's also your sediment region. So like my tank up here on top of the house that we use, it's only used right now to supply my solar water heater, is inside I have a pipe turned up, and it comes up about 8 or 10 inches off the bottom of the tank. And so the water only comes up 8 or 10 inches into the pipe, and the rest of that down there can have sediment, and plus it always keeps heavy water in the bottom of the tank for some wind resistance and strength right there. Keep that tank planted down. So there's a little tip for you there. And then it's got, on those plastic tanks, it has more than one place for an outlet on the bottom of the tank. So over at another one there, I have it to where I have a valve there that has no pipe sticking up. And now that when we pour some stuff in there like bleach and let it set and kill all the algae or anything that's built up, now we can open that up and flush all that right out the side. I mean, we close the main one off so it don't go down it. And plus it's all that sediment's going to drop past that pipe I have sticking up. So it protects all that from going down my line. And so maybe that'll help you out on that of how to set those up. Maybe that'll help you a little bit. But it's kind of like if you, I just don't even know what to explain. It's just so hard to know who's going to be legit with you or use their brain and who's not. But I wish you the best of luck on that. I just can't give any advice though on how to find somebody. I've seen so many people that people thought were legit, did great jobs for many other people, and then all of a sudden they burned somebody. Back on that other topic here, man, not everybody is intelligent with money, even the USA, especially when they did not work for it. Oh my God, man, I am telling you. And, you know, I recently was telling my wife that. I said, you know, I'd rather give you a way to earn money. I was telling Cap that too. I said, I'd rather, you know, give a way to earn money, because if you just hand somebody over money they didn't work for, or they didn't see their family struggle for, or anything like that, it's so easy to let it sift through your fingers. But when you put skin in the game for that money, you close those fingers up and you hold it a whole lot tighter, because you knew the work that went into that. And so it's the same here. I love Melinda, but I didn't want, if something happened to me, her to be preyed upon by her family, just wearing her out. Die, give me this, die, emergency, die. And she's at a vulnerable state. So I said, I'd rather give you a way to continually make money, and instead of just handing you a bunch of money. And so that's all I can tell you on that too. And it says, I've been to Thailand over 20 years and I'm planning on becoming an expat this summer. And it's a toss-up between Thailand and Philippines. What's your recommendation? Thailand is probably a little bit more rigorous on the visa stuff. And Thailand's going to be cleaner. The prices, it's a cleaner place, and the prices are still fairly good, but you're going to have more language barriers. So,
and it's a little more expensive there.
A little bit, not always. There's some really nice places you can rent for decent prices, but you're always going to have a bigger language barrier. And I don't know. I've talked to a lot of guys that come here that go spend time between the places, and it's always seems to come back around true again. that you probably run to the nicest people right here in the Philippines. Overall, um, the overall vibe's best, it seems to be with the Filipinos. So I guess maybe this is going to be impartial or whatever, but I think maybe the Philippines is still the better bet. They got good, strong ties with, like for me as an American, they got good, strong ties with America and all, and I appreciate that. But hey, Thailand seems to be a pretty rocking and rolling place, though, you know. So I haven't spent like time there to give you a really good review on that. But anybody else here want to chime in there on what he asked? Hey, get in here and tell him what you think. I'm a single guy in my late 40s and never been to the Philippines. I came here at 35. I was just almost 36 years old when I came here. I'm going into my 21st year. Isn't that crazy? Wow. Yeah, and it became like a drug. I think it does for a lot of people, man. They get out from the West and all the monotony there and everything going on, especially how crazy it's been for the past, I mean, hell, almost a couple of decades now. And it just feels so liberating, and just the vibe and the energy so great over here. There's a lot I love here. There's things we could sit here and bitch about, right? We sit here bitching about the Philippines, and then we say, "But I love you."
Right. Then we start talking about going back. Oh, you know, I might go back, and I think, man, I don't want to go back right now. Not now.
Man,
And
I'm telling
New
you.
Year's was a blast here. I mean, it got so crazy. I had actually gone in and taken a nap, you know, and was asleep.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, man, it was about 11:45, and boom, pow, boom, pow. The fireworks started going off, and the motorcycles were revving up, and I stepped outside, and the street was just lined on both sides with people, you know, neighbors coming out of their houses, getting out in the street. The motorcycles running up and down, and they're hooting and hollering, and fireworks are going off. And it went on that way until 3:00 in the morning at least.
They're looking for any reason to celebrate. I like it over here for that. I see so many people, they'll come here and maybe they save money for a good long while or something with their job and time. And they come here, they visit, and then they go back to the States or wherever country they're from. And it's like their sole mission is to get more money, get more time off, and get their asses right back over here again. It becomes like an addiction, man. You know, like your little crackhead theme for the Philippines. And that says a lot. So we can bitch about some of their practices and things, but at the same time, it's a wonderful place. You know, it really is. It's not perfect. It's not utopia. It definitely has blight around. Remember, it's a nation that's been poor, and they've been through a lot of strife. They get beat up by tons of storms and earthquakes and volcanoes and everything, you know. And through all of that, they're able to continue singing and continue smiling, you know. So there's a lot of resilience in them. And of course, they've been poor. When you're poor like that and they just see anybody from the West like they're rich, there's going to be opportunists out there that's going to take advantage of you because of the poverty. And so it's up to you to really safeguard your money. Let's talk about that. Old Paul, old dog, new tricks. I like him enough, but I was kind of shocked how he was taken, how Mr. Old Dog that has, you know, got over 100,000 viewers, and I'm not jealous of that because I'm very happy with the 51,000 that I've got. But he's told everybody about how to do everything in the Philippines. And then everything he's told over the years about what to do and not to do in the Philippines, he's ended up doing it. Don't have a car, don't have this or that. I'm going to get a car. Don't get married, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm getting married. Don't buy property. Don't build a house. Now I'm buying property. I'm building a house. And this, and now he got taken on top of that. And it's like, I just shake my head, that even Mr. Advice there is not even listening to his own advice. But if he loves baby May, more power to him, get married to her and all that. But it's so funny how they at one point in time were preaching to you all of the no, 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 no's and don'ts. And just like Enrique also. And then that's the very things that they did. And people just lap it up like honey, And there's some pretty serious money this dude is taking him for. I tell you what, if I was closer down there, and I have even considered, but I think he's going to be in a real mess. I think that property, probably that title, everything is probably a real mess. It's probably going to take some time to straighten the mess up that he's got. That might not even really be his property. They might not even be the owners of that land. I don't know. I'm just speculating because I don't have no detail, but I know how things work here very well. That the one telling us, all the safeguards is the one that, got his ass handed to him. And apparently this dude down there, this guy from South Africa or wherever, has been just scamming everyone. And as tight a community as the Dumageddon is down there, it should have been already well known, even to someone like Paul, of all people, that stay away from this guy, So, man, just remember, these guys out there on the internet, just because they're spitting, like me, tons of videos out, it doesn't mean we're the know-all of everything. That's why, like I say, I quit giving advice. I might give tidbits, but I'm talking about trying to give you life advice. Oh, there's so many stories I can tell. Woo! So many stories I can tell. Me and Mel, we shake our heads every day. Melinda just like, man, why are these men so stupid and gullible? Most of the time, listen, don't blame the girl. Blame yourself, because nobody held a gun to your head for you to give all that money away. Yeah, nobody did. So let's see what else we got going on here. So Walter said, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And Moonbeam, Happy New Year. So Joe's asked, if possible in your region where you live, to make a wooden deck in the ocean. It wouldn't stay. It's impossible. Not where we live. It'll rip it to pieces in a New York second, man. This water goes from smooth to massively turbulent very fast. Mm-hmm. Is that not true, Cap? Mm-hmm. I mean, highly destructive. So it ain't going to work. It ain't going to happen. And on top of that, you would have to get approval with the DENR, and it's public beach. If you're a business like us and you're a registered business and you're registered with, you've got all your permits, your barangay, your city for everything, like us, Department of Tourism and all the things in the DNR and all, well, then you are availed some different privileges for using the beach than a just private person on the beach. So we are availed a little bit more headway to do things, us being a business. But it's still, and a lot of people get away with a lot of stuff, but here, they might just do it anyway and ask for forgiveness instead of permission. But I'm telling you, anything that gets built in the waters here where I'm at is going to get destroyed. The end. It's not going to last. It's not going to be there. A wooden structure is not going to stand if they can't even make big old thick ass concrete stand. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
I've seen a lot of those plastic floating docks that are the dock, and then they'll have a raft, a big raft out there. But anytime there's a storm, they pull that in.
they get it all in.
Yeah, they get it all in.
Yeah, where they can detach it and get it all up. And that's a lot of work putting that in and out. Yeah. So that's once again a business too, though.
Right.
Because where you've seen that's down there at those snorkel and little dive places down here.
Right. And then there was another place over on Gimras that they had a long floating dock going out.
And they're in a little protected bay right there.
A little bit, yeah. But they'd have to pull that stuff.
They have to bring it in. But again, see, they're businesses and they can get a permit for all of that. And an individual can't. Right. It's not allowed.
Right.
Yeah.
And plus
unless you're a wealthy Filipino or politician or something. I'm just talking shit.
If rafts get destroyed, it's not that big a deal, for a couple $100 they can rebuild that raft.
And here, if it breaks loose and it goes out and it scatters down the beach, everybody's grabbing it and you'll never see it again. They're not going to bring it back to you. And it's finders keepers culture here. They want you to pay them a reward.
Yeah, for finding it.
For them grabbing your shit and stealing it off the beach. Yeah. So, yeah. So it says wow, that tank tip is really good. Thanks. Yes, sir. Hi there, watching from Brisbane, Australia. Enjoy your show. Happy New Year. Hey, Trevor. Oh, no, I can't tell if that was a Jeep Man. No, that's a different one. I see. Hi, James. I saw you were live. Hey, buddy, how you doing, man? I just now saw it was. I need to adjust my glasses. Let's see here. I'm the same way, Cap. I like to build myself and do it right. Yep. Let's see right here. Hey, James and Cap. What's on the adventure list for this year? I don't know.
Trying to take over the world.
Yeah, trying to take the pinky in the brain here. What was that door slamming? I think the wind blew through the bathroom there. Pinky in the brain. Yeah. The same thing we do every day. Try to take over the world. Yeah. So I don't know. Mel and I, we may block off some dates from any rooms being rented here because we don't really have a staff, and we don't want to trust it to just somebody and they don't give good service to someone and we get like a bad review out there. So I had rather block the rooms and not even rent it if we can't be on site until we get a really trustworthy staff trained here that's probably not family. Because when it comes to that, it's probably best it's not family. And probably somebody that's been well trained. There's schools and stuff here. They get degrees out there. In fact, your girlfriend has been going to college or school here for how long now?
She'll graduate this summer. So she's been going it's a 2-year course. So
she's not Cap's girlfriend. She's what, 42, 43?
42.
42. So it's kind of later in the Philippines. Anybody's life to pick up and do a school like that, but she's doing that, and that's what her training is like this type of business, like this and all. And the Department of Tourism told us that they are also tied with those schools down there and all, and that they could help us get staff here or even temp staff that they can do on-the-job training and all. So we'll probably do that. Oh, I knew I heard a door there somewhere. I didn't know G-Li was over here. And so we're probably going to block off some dates. We'll digress back here. We're probably going to block off some dates. And we want to do a ride and go like back down around Negros on the bike, hop over across to Cebu. I don't know if we'll go all the way down to Dumaguete this time or if we'll jump across Cebu there, like at San Carlos or wherever, to get over to Toledo, to Cebu Island, not the city. And then maybe go up from Cebu, hop another ferry going north and start island hopping and go all the way up to the Beagle region to where our friend David and Ludi are, and go spend some time at their place. And he's got the papers there for that travel trailer that we bought. And I told him that we would just come there and see them, and I'd pick up that paperwork. And that would be a fun adventure. And when I mentioned that before, Cap says, I want to go. I want to go.
I'm biting my tongue right now.
Yeah, you know, and do a little island hop adventure like that. You know, you're not riding the whole time, because part of the time you're just cruising on a ferry, you know.
Right.
So Cap, he's went through a little bit of stuff here recently. That's his private business though, but he'll need to recover from that in every which way. What do you always say? I'm financially embarrassed. I'm financially embarrassed right now.
Morally bankrupt and financially embarrassed.
Yeah. So we need to let him get over at least one of those. And so that might come off, and that would be a fun adventure right there on the bike and stuff. And I don't know if I would backtrack on that course, or if I would go all the way on up around by Naga and come back around all the way up around to Batangas again. Could get on the ferries that'll go from Batangas right on down here, or we could hop over to Mindoro and take a ferry from Mindoro and then come into Catalan, and then come on back down around here and make a huge loop. And man, I just think that would be awesome. It's so much cheaper to put the bikes on the ferries than an automobile. So I really look forward to that. And listen, renting the rooms is great and stuff, but we still want a life too. A viewer that we've kind of built a little bit of a relationship with up near Rojas, he's a businessman up there and all. And he said, James, what you built there is a tar baby. I said, a tar baby. We were up there hanging out at Canadian Beaver, and he said, yep, you built a tar baby because you're going to be stuck there all the time. And I said, no, I won't either, because I will leave. I will leave. We are not shy to shut the place down. I will not be stuck like a tar baby here. So, but you do need to put in some time to your investment and to get it off the ground. So that's one of the things that we got out there in the works right now. Building here in the Philippines is always an area where you have to be on site and focused. That's right. And not afraid to speak up, but there's a difference between speaking up and being an asshole. And man, you have done messed up if you go in an asshole mode with your help. Excuse my language, because they're not going to like you then, and they're going to be very facetious on things they do in the work and all. You just basically burned yourself, and they're going to tell everybody else around too. They all know each other that you're an asshole, and you're going to. Yet nobody is going to want to work for you, and if they do, they're not going to respect you. So you can be critical and try to teach them, but don't shame them. Don't embarrass them in front of their friends. Don't show how you're going to be the big bad canoe and you're going to run it like a U.S. operation in OSHA. You know, man, I thought you come to retire. I thought you kind of retire and relax, not come here and put the hammer down on people. So you gotta do things with kid gloves. Let's see. Thanks for the feedback, fellas. Love what you're doing over there. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Every new territory female contract will scam you, even for 10 pesos. Just ensure you can recover. Get your pocket right so you can recover. So I've been going here for how long now? 1 hour and 44 minutes for my ambush video, my ambush live stream. And I'm glad to see many people on here. I really appreciate a lot of you so much. Uh, Man, there's so many people on here that's been with us for a long while. A few names I didn't recognize here. Um, Maybe you normally don't comment or something. Um, I'm trying to see if I missed anybody. I'm kind of scrolling back through the comments right now. But I just want to tell you, I appreciate y'all jumping on here. I do need to go out here and visit with some guests right now and with our subscriber and his family that's out here at the beach. And their kids and all here with them. And I really enjoy their kids. I have fun joking and stuff with them. So, and Melinda's got some family here too. So we're going to wrap this up. And I'm going to wish you all a great start to a new year. And I do want to address one more thing before I close this out. Sadly, in the U.S., there was a loss of life and acts of, I guess you could call, terrorism that took place in New Orleans and in Las Vegas. And man, I just want to wish that 2025 is not start out like that. Don't let this set the pace for a new year. There's just crazy ass people out there, and let's just try to set a new year of hope and prosperity, and pray for the people that lost family and got hurt and all, and don't get sucked in with the rage and the anger and all. I tell you what, media plays the biggest part in these things happening. Weak-minded people get consumed by the rhetoric in the media, and they lose themselves in their own head with all of that noise, that frequency happening. And don't be one of those that get consumed with all of that. And it doesn't matter if you're waving a red flag or a blue flag or anything. It doesn't matter which country you're from. We are all made out of the same flesh. And with that, see you later.